Hi guys, Cole here. Today, I have some incredible information about the JFK assassination, which took place November 22nd, 1963. So here it is. The Dallas Morning News, November 23rd, 1963. Volume 115, number 54, entitled Kennedy Slain on Dallas Street. And right below that, it says Johnson becomes president. And this is a copy of the original newspaper that was given out the day after the assassination on November 23rd of 1963. So here is a photo of John F. Kennedy, which was released in this Dallas Morning News the day after his assassination. On the other side of the page is a photo of Johnson becoming president. He receives oath on aircraft, which happened in Love Field. What I found interesting about this particular Dallas Morning News is many companies placed ads in remembrance of John F. Kennedy when he died. And I'm going to show you some of those ads right here. Here's one ad that says, "We extend our deepest sympathy to the Kennedy family and to the nation in the tragic loss of our president, John Fitzgerald Kennedy." And there's the company. When we turn the page here, a few pages over, we're going to see another ad. Right here, in memory of our president, John F. Kennedy, Lou Latimer. And over here, there's something called the play yards. Out of our deepest respect for our beloved president, the play yards will be closed Saturday, November 23rd. The day after the assassination, many businesses closed out of respect of the beloved president. This one says Medallion will be closed on Saturday, November 23rd of 1963. On page 6, section 2, right below shooting plunge securities, all markets closed at death. In memoriam, Singers and Harris wrote this: "The tragic death of our president, John F. Kennedy, is a great loss to all Americans and the world. Dallas, in particular, is stunned and grieves that this could happen in our city. God grant all of us the wisdom and vision to see that our city and our nation shoulders fully the responsibilities ahead. Our hearts go out to his family in their great loss." On the opposite page, from the Singers and Harris in memoriam, is a half-mast flag that says the Dallas Morning News right here. Below the headlines on the Dallas Morning News on that day, it states, "Pro-communist charged with act. A sniper shot and killed President John F. Kennedy on the streets of Dallas Friday. A 24-year-old pro-communist who once tried to defect to Russia was charged with the murder shortly before midnight. Kennedy was shot at about 12:20 p.m. Friday at the foot of Elm Street as the presidential car entered the approach to the Triple Underpass." What I found fascinating about this particular Dallas Morning News is all the great photos that were released covering the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Here's a photo of John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline and a Dallas police officer just moments before the assassination. Here's a photo of the 6th floor of the Texas Book Depository, where the sniper held his rifle. Here's from the point of view of the sniper's nest on the 6th floor. Allegedly, Lee Harvey Oswald was the one who fired the 3 shots. A photo shows where the sniper was on the 6th floor, and an arrow showing where the bullet was aimed. What I thought was interesting is it actually showed a floor plan of where the sniper was. Here's the floor plan right here. It shows the 2 windows where Oswald sat by with the book carton here. Here it shows a Coke where Oswald had set down his soft drink. In other YouTube posts, I heard that he actually had some chicken too, and there was a chicken wing or some kind of chicken leg or something like that next to the Coke where he had been eating, so he had been there for quite a bit of time waiting. In an earlier post, it showed a clipboard in a photo where none of his orders had been filled, so he'd been sitting there all day, or for a good part of the morning. Cases 3 high is what this says, and there's a building floor plan here. Over here in the corner, it shows gun and packing cases and stairwell. So this kind of, I had to study this for a while to kind of, to analyze it. One question that I had about the actual assassination is Houston Street actually goes over this way, and he was in the corner where Elm. I always wondered why he didn't take this shot from Houston Street whenever the car was coming around before it got to the Texas School Book Depository. Here's a photo of Lee Harvey Oswald in the same newspaper on page 5, section 1, page 5, right here. At the bottom of that page 5, it shows Kennedy giving a speech. Right next to that, it shows Oswald's house on North Beckley, 1026. It's a rooming house that Lee Harvey Oswald and his wife and child all rented out. Here, neighboring the page, on page 4, is Lyndon Johnson taking his oath, which actually happened on Air Force One on Love Field. Right here on page 6, below it is an article entitled Suspect Captured in Movie Theater. Right next to that is a photo of Oswald's wife, Marina Oswald, and the mother-in-law, Marguerite Oswald. A photo of his daughter and a baby, which is Oswald's child. It says here, it was not known if she was permitted to see her husband. So this is right after they were questioned by the Dallas police, and probably other authorities as well. The thing I thought was interesting about this was the actual size of the newspaper and the amount of articles that are in it. Not only that, the amount of ads for different businesses and just, it goes on and on and on. Back then, they didn't have YouTube and they didn't have much television to give out information. It was limited. So the newspaper was heavily relied upon for information exchange. I'm showing you an example of how large this newspaper actually was. Here's an ad for a television right here. At the time, communism was very much an enemy in the American minds and hearts of people. There's an actual article here that even talks about communism called Mexican Candidate Vows. Here, I'll just show. This article shows the fear of communism and the big Red Scare. Mexican candidate vows to press anti-Red war. And it talks a lot about communism and the fear of communism here. Here it talks about communists hate most, promises not let up in the Reds. And it just goes on and on and on. It's pretty interesting. On page 11, section 1, here below this photo of an empty chair, is Kennedy in Fort Worth kept darting into crowds. And it talks about how the Secret Service had to follow Kennedy around all these big crowds in Fort Worth, and he was darting in and out of the crowds. And it was making the Secret Service really, really nervous. This was the night before the actual assassination. Here on page 12, section 1, is a man holding the sniper rifle that Lee Harvey Oswald supposedly used. And right next to that is an in memory of our President John Kennedy. Lou Lattimore is the company. I plan to do a series of vlogs on the John F. Kennedy assassination. And I wanted to start with the newspaper and just show you different things. Next time, when I go back to vlog this newspaper, I wanted to explore some of the descriptions of when they brought in John F. Kennedy and laid him down in Parkland. There is something in one of the articles that states that he was or was not pronounced dead on arrival. Some believe he was pronounced dead 30 minutes after arrival, and then some believe that he was actually dead on arrival. So I wanted to kind of explore what the article says here. It says 30 minutes after the arrival of his body, and he was actually, if he was actually even still breathing whenever he went into Parkland. But anyway, it's a really nice newspaper. You could probably order it from the Dallas Morning News. And also, of course, you can go to any library and they'll have this whole newspaper on microfiche and maybe even some copies of it. But that's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifying bell so you get the next vlog. It's probably going to be some time before I do the next JFK assassination vlog. But this is my first official one. And also, if you'd like to support my channel, I always ask people first subscribe. I may leave my PayPal here, and that's all. And this vlog is over. Oh, one more thing. I thought this was a really interesting article, too, about Kennedy's life. It's after, actually it lands on page 21. And it's kind of a little miniature biography of Kennedy and how he was, always into sports. Grimm's Sports World Alters Plans is right underneath this. But it shows him as a young boy playing football here. Then it shows him in 1938 at Harvard University. It's on the swim team. And here it shows him on a yacht outside of Maine in 1962. Till next time.